Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/Surviving Infidelity, where OP shares the story of how Karma got to his ex and his entire journey moving on from the trauma. Let's begin. 1 year later, the progress and advice. Posted by Reddit user Joe Sanfana.
Hi all, I posted here a while back. I got some good feedback and messages of support. I very much appreciated it and have made so much progress thanks in part to this sub. I am just about 4 or 5 months post D-Day after my wife of 7 years cheated on me and ghosted me when I found out. It killed me. I took it very badly, and for a good month or two, a tomorrow was something I was not very sure that I'd have. Our respective lawyers are the only ones communicating. For some context, we were apart due to immigration and university. I'm speeding things along and getting the divorce in my country and am past the bulk of the hard feelings and stuff. I've accepted what has happened, and, to me, my wife is dead. I've seen her happy TikTok videos with her boyfriend, and at first it hurts, but it helped rip off the band-aid. I'm fully committed to myself now. I grew so much and I feel like every week I am a different person. As weird as it is, I kind of like this feeling and I hope it never stops. I'm doing so many things that I've never done before, like singing lessons of all things. What I am really struggling with at the moment is that I really feel like I need to find myself again, and I am very scared of losing a part of myself at the same time. Along with the loss of my marriage, I feel like I lost part of my identity, and in some ways, that I wasn't expecting. I moved to her country and learned the language, assimilated to an extent, and fell in love with our hometown. I was very passionate about the history and culture, as my family is from there too. Along with some other passions and aspirations, this whole part of me seems like it's dying, for lack of a better word. My question is, has anyone else ever had to navigate this sort of lost identity thing before? I almost feel like I've lost all direction because I put so much attention and effort into this marriage and being together. I think I forgot what the hell I want out of life. Some days I really don't even know who I am. I will admit, as troubling as it is also kind of liberating. Almost like anything is possible now. Now for OP's second update. Ex-wife cheated, gaslit me when I figured it out, and then ghosted me for the following 6 months. Finally, I get a message from her through my cousin, and I won't lie, part of me was so relieved and happy because I do still love my wife, and this brought back some glimmer of hope that I could have her back. Almost immediately, that thought was replaced with, oh no, I'm worth way more than this bullshit. Snap back to reality. So I've been very guarded, but very curious about what she could possibly want. Well, she wants to talk, so we get on the phone and she breaks down, just saying how sorry she is, and how horrible she feels for what she did to me. She seemed very sincere, but I had a feeling there must be a catch after 6 months or literally ghosting me. Maybe the new guy broke up with her or something, I don't know. I just replied basically saying the time to say sorry has long passed, explained what she put me through, and then how much extra salt she poured into the wound by ghosting me completely. We caught up a bit and then I said my final goodbye. That was it. Finally some good closure, I thought. Well, the next day I get a message from an unknown number claiming to be her friend, saying that my ex wants to speak with me because she wanted to tell me one last thing. So curiosity got the better of me and I accepted. I prepared my rebuttal for if she decided to try and fix things, and what any sort of plan to do so would look like, and also how hopeless it would be. I had assumed she was going to propose we work through this. Ultimately my response would have been, good luck with that. We get on the phone and start talking. She's completely a mess, can barely talk, and then finally she says, you deserve to know, I am pregnant and I am so sorry. What a shock. At first I was actually really happy because I thought, well, you made your bed, now you sleep in it. But also I started feeling more sympathetic since she also is now absolutely hated by her entire family and has nobody to support her at all. It's a really bad situation for her and I do feel very sorry for her. Unfortunately, that's the lesson she needed to learn. It seems like the new guy is abusive towards her, even knowing she is pregnant. So I just dropped the talk about what she did in fixing us. Instead, I tried to be supportive and ask what she wanted to do with pregnancy, and made it clear that she needs to choose with the perspective that we will never have a future together. I don't want her getting an abortion with false hopes she'd be fixing us, because in my honest opinion that is just not something a woman should be thinking about when making such a decision. She broke down anyway and said I won't love the baby, that I won't love her anymore, and all this other stuff. I realized she's only calling me because she knows she's fucked, and would rather have me as a father, or at least because she'd have the support of her family that way. Nope, not today. It's obvious she called me out of desperation and not because she actually learned anything. So I explained to her that this is a decision that she needs to make alone. It's her body and it isn't my kid. I reiterated that she killed us and that there will be no us in the future. Whatever decision she makes needs to be for her own well-being and that of her child. I don't want to be involved in the process. That was the end of that discussion. She messaged me today again apologizing and saying that it's too late for her to get an abortion. I genuinely feel bad for her. Her fate is set in stone, but I also tried to be nice and say she'll get through this and to be strong, which is more than she deserves from me. She tried calling me honey and other pet names from before. I shut it down saying that it's over, and her calling me that just means she's cheating on the new guy now too. I wished her good luck and said goodbye, so I think that it is. But you know what? Maybe I was too kind, but I am proud of myself for resisting the urge to just blindly take her back, but also for managing to maintain my humanity after all the trauma she put me through. This entire situation is her fault, but I wish her the best. The unfortunate thing for her, and also because I guess it is kinda dark, but this allowed me to start moving on and feel happy about it. It is finished now and I honestly couldn't be happier. Thanks for the amazing time we had together, but finally I am very much moved on and only carry the scars and trauma around. I feel like my grieving stage is finally finished and I've accepted it all, completely. Never lose hope, people. Life is hard, but it does get better. I think being able to let go is the most important thing. You need to do what you need to do to be true to yourself. Love yourself, let yourself have the opportunity to grow and heal and be happy. End rant. And now for OP's second update. It's been a year, somehow the worst and best of my life. I loved my wife to death, did everything I could for her. Our situation was pretty unique, but I made it work. Gave myself entirely to her. She stabbed me in the back and had an affair with a coworker, ghosted me until she called me months later to say she was pregnant and needed help. Fun stuff. It crushed me, utterly destroyed me. Tried my best to get into contact with her and insist we try to get past it because I promised you when I married you that I would never give up on us. We're divorced now. Things were dicey in the beginning, couldn't do much, was paralyzed really, almost sent myself to the shadow realm a few times. I was really hurt, but I was also really weak. Fortunately, I didn't go through with it and managed to turn this whole shit show into one giant character building session. I feel like closing this chapter and wanted to share a few words of advice for those who might find it helpful, especially if you're just in the beginning. This sub contributed greatly to how I was able to pivot, and as proud as I was of myself for giving everything to make this work before, I am damn proud of myself for leveraging all that anger, sorrow, dread, and pain for something beneficial. If you're just finding out or only in those first horrible weeks, know this, you are absolutely not alone even though it feels like it. It will get better. I hope my advice can help someone. So here is what I learned and would pass along. Grief. Don't bottle it up. You gotta have a hard cry at work. Go to your car and do it. Get it out. Give yourself the respect to process the pain and emotions that come with all of this. The sad reality is there is no escape. For days I would wake up expecting to say good morning to my wife, literally something that always gave me great joy, only to be absolutely sucker punched by that cold reality. The pain was unbearable. I tried my best to just sleep all day and feel nothing instead of confront reality. Then I eventually just became numb to everything. Things got really dark then. In order to truly grieve, you need to just be sad, angry, hurt, etc. You must process those emotions, and if you cannot, you need to find out how. Most I can say is have some compassion for yourself. Take the time to heal, stay active, keep yourself busy, go visit your family or friends, do something to keep active, go to the gym or go for runs. Anything to get your body moving and adrenaline pumping will help immensely. I said to process your emotions, let yourself grieve, but also let yourself let go and relax. I found running and working out intensely to be the most helpful and really relieved so much stress. Most importantly, it kind of gets you starting to realize that the world goes on and you too can and will continue going on. Acceptance. This won't come easy at all. Accepting that it even happened was difficult for me. Accepting that it was over felt impossible for a long time. I don't think you can just force yourself to accept it, but you can do little things to get yourself on the right track. Processing your emotions and grief, staying active, being with friends and family, interacting with people are all good ways to work on this. But one unexpected thing for me was just trying new things and doing things I thought would make me uncomfortable. For example, I always wanted to learn an instrument, so I got one and learned. I always wanted to go to a certain event, so I just went by myself. Do what you can to accomplish something, even if it is just a small goal. I think that this motivates you, but also opens your mind to the idea that you can do it alone. You always could, and with that you'll be more open to accepting the reality of the situation. I'm telling you though, once you start accepting things, you can almost physically feel a weight lifted off your shoulders. It is liberating, but you have to work on it, and that requires confronting reality. Don't give in to escapism. Leverage any and all support you can. If you need to just talk, pick up the phone and talk to your family and friends. Read this sub, get some books, listen to a podcast, watch YouTube videos, anything. If you are fortunate enough to be able to attend therapy, do it. Talk, cry, laugh, get angry, do whatever you can with someone at your side when you really need it. If you have no one, then you are in luck, because your biggest supporter needs to be yourself. Take a break from work if you can. Hell, call in sick and sneak away somewhere for a couple of days. I cannot stress this enough. Even though all those external resources are great, you are ultimately the only person who can be there for yourself at all hours of the day. You need to be strong for yourself. You need to love and be compassionate for yourself. That will be more difficult if you don't use the resources you have. Don't touch drugs or alcohol. It's not worth it. It feels great at first, but it will almost always get out of hand. Best case scenario, you're waking up with a hangover. Worst case scenario, you've developed a new lifelong habit to use as a crutch to deal with your emotions. I drank heavily in the beginning of this, and it very quickly leads nowhere good. Rediscover yourself. I think it is a common feeling to almost have a sense of lost identity after something like this. I certainly did, and it made me feel hollow and numb. Eventually I just said fuck it and tried something I've always been curious about but never tried before. Could be anything. For me it was streaming, singing and music production. I've never tried any of these. I won't be a singer anytime soon, but I definitely might start putting out my own music. Get yourself a hobby that you are passionate about. Dress the way you want to dress. Get a well thought out and not impulsive tattoo. Go for a road trip alone somewhere new. Just be yourself and get to know yourself again. This will also give you a sense of accomplishment and confidence. You'll probably start really understanding that you will be okay at this stage. It sounds so cliché, but again, express yourself. Embark on a journey of self-discovery. Personally, I found giving myself some time alone on walks and starting to journal were very beneficial as well. Value yourself. After what happened, it is very easy to feel worthless, but in reality, the one and only thing you can ever truly possess is you yourself. That makes you priceless. You should be your own biggest priority. After what happened, it really is their loss. Once you start building your sense of self-value and self-respect, everything else starts falling into place. It's okay to still have feelings for them. They will stick around for a while. It is really bittersweet, but I think it is beautiful in some fucked up way that the fact that you hurt so much and still might have feelings or reminisce means you really did have something special. Unfortunately, you only get one life and everything must come to end someday. You were fortunate enough to have had something so great and special that realistically, many people do not ever have the chance to experience. The best part, you still have a chance to find something even better now, whether it is on your own or in another, healthier and even more loving relationship in the future. For now, just accept that even with the horrible pain that followed, you had some damn good times, and those memories may always be something that you cherish, and that is okay. Moving on and acceptance is not about saying, oh well, forget that, it was horrible how it ended. It is literally about accepting it all holistically, letting go of anger, frustration and sadness over something you cannot change, and appreciating the ups and downs of one giant roller coaster. I have years of memories with my ex-wife that I will cherish forever, and I am so thankful for. But with how much I have grown this past year and how hurtful she truly was because of her actions, I am thankful that this happened last year instead of later. For me, this is another shot at life and a chance to start a new chapter. I guess that wraps it up. I know it was a long post. I know it may not suit everyone, but I hope it helps. For those just in the initial phases, I promise you, it will get better with time. It will. Time heals all wounds, but only if you allow it. You sure as hell are not alone in your struggles.
Wow, that is one inspiring story, OP. She ghosted you in the worst way. Flaunted on social media the dickhead she cheated on you with, but then she ended up all alone and a single mother. Surprise, surprise, right? Cheers to karma. You're doing magnificently well, my friend. Onwards and upwards. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.